Hey, everybody, welcome to the Free Mind Podcast. It's Thursday, May 2nd. This is episode 48. All right, we're raising the energy today. Trystin Nance, the first clinically dosed amino acid gummies. All right, Ascentix Innovation Labs. Let's check out Trystin's story.
So I'm Trystin Nance, founder of Ascentix Innovation Labs. We were founded August 2022. So what we do is sports nutrition gummies. We kind of focus on nuanced, hard to do ingredients in the gummy delivery method. So we originally launched with a branched chain amino acid gummy, but that was just me kind of being young and just wanting to try something. They weren't really too up to par where I wanted them to be. So those were on market for about 4 months. Dropped those and then went back into R&D, and now we have our first actual real product, is what I like to call it, our essential amino acid gummy, and that's the gummy that can stand toe to toe with powders. There's no other gummy on the market like it. So really happy with how that came out, and that's what we're doing. We only got one right now, but hopefully we can extend the product line here in the near future.
I'll let you know this part I will cut out, but I'm gonna connect you with. I already have two people that I want to connect you with that I think can help you out with some stuff off the top of my head. So have that in the back pocket there. So walk me through what you're currently doing and with the amino acids and the gummies. Talk about, you're the only clinically dosed EAA gummy on the market. So with that certification, with everything that's out there, imagine I'm just a layman that's walking in the store. Tell me what differentiates you from everybody else with the gummies on the market.
Yeah, so we have two ingredient partners. So we partner with Compound Solutions which is our primary active ingredient provider, which is the essential amino acid. So what's so special about this essential amino acid versus other ones is that they actually clinically studied this one. So therefore, all the results and all the claims that we have on our product are actually clinically backed. So there's reduction in cannibalism, improvement in anabolism, muscle protein synthesis. It's like a powerhouse for essential amino acids, basically. And then another one of our partners is New Live Science, and they supply us with our second active ingredient, which is estrogen. So what that ingredient does is it increases your bioavailability. So really overall the gut health. So it helps you actually absorb nutrients. So you put those two together, now you know that your body is absorbing not just the essential amino acids, but also anything that you might consume throughout the day. So you're getting really a double whammy, but benefits all over. And that's what we wanted to do, and that's what we've achieved. So that's really kind of what our gummy does. And if you look at the market, you'll notice you have to really pay attention, because like you're saying, the random person off the street that doesn't really know their way around the industry or really like have a full grip on it will end up spending money on very underdosed, or some stuff might not even be dosed just because it could not be third party tested, so on and so forth. Like there's a whole bunch of smoke mirrors in the industry. So if you compare our gummy, which is 4 gummies per serving at 6.75 grams of active ingredients, 6.7 grams of essential amino acids, to what is on the market, you might find one gummy brand that does one serving at 1,000 milligrams. So 1 gram of branched chain amino acids. That's usually as high as they go, just because it is a very difficult ingredient to mask as far as flavor wise, to chemically get into a gummy. And a lot of the manufacturers just don't produce a gummy big enough to realistically keep it in that small serving size that we've got it down to. So that's kind of not really the pitch, but kind of like the differentiator and why we stand on everything that we say.
No, that's and I work also in the cannabis space. So with we do a lot of meetings from a raw material standpoint with my client. They're the producer and raw material provider, the farmer. they're also the end result of, as far as the consumer goods. So we work directly with everything in between. So very well versed in all that, and I think it's fascinating. I'm just now getting in my interest in the supplement market. So we recently had a guest on here that works in the weight loss management space. And what then got me interested was, as I've been researching that, was seeing the gummy space and how that space has added a whole new vessel as far as distribution of consumption for supplements. Is there something that, like, he's like his company's called Lysolin. So basically it's for weight loss management and things like that. Is that stuff that can be converted into gummies as well? It's already in a powder form, already in a capsule form. And is that universally, like, anybody that's already in a powder and a capsule can become a gummy? Or are there some, I guess what I'm trying to say is, what's your target kind of customer? And then how many people can come into that space? Is it easy to get into? Yeah.
So the barrier of entry is very low, but here was my mantra kind of going into it. If somebody else can do it by snapping their fingers or bringing money and throwing money at it, I didn't want to do it. So It took us 9 months to get this gummy from idea to actually, okay, we can actually get this bad boy rolling. So if you look at the powders, like you have certain stuff that'll never be in a gummy. Protein, you'll probably never have a protein marketed gummy. You'll have a collagen gummy. They're gonna come out here soon. Probably like more beauty space in that, if I was to guess. But as far as like weight loss and thermogenics and all that type stuff, I don't see why it couldn't be done. It would just depend on the ingredients.
Yeah, it's fascinating how that's and looking at it from a consumer standpoint, whether it be in the food and beverage space, how consumers' profiles are changing and how their demands are changing. But seeing, like, growing up as a Flintstone kid, I never thought that that the vitamin gummy would make its way through. But I appreciate it. Kind of walk me through from your aspect. You guys, yours is in the workout space and in the athletic space, where obviously from your standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, your product is really well marketed. Walk me through, outside of the marketing aspect, what sets you apart from everybody else on the shelf, as far as why a vitamin store, a supplement store, a gym, which should bring you in, as far as that, and have you for their customers and the guests.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm talking to somebody that owns something, or like you're saying, one of the stores, let's hypothetically say Nate owns a supplement store, the first thing that I'm going to probably honestly tell you before we even really get into what makes the gummy like stand alone is, we don't have any sugar. Go find another gummy that doesn't have any sugar on the market right now that actually tastes good. And then, like, that's really the conversation started, because there's so many gummy options on market, but they all have like 3 grams of sugar. You don't need sugar. Why does everybody need sugar in their gummy? You don't need sugar to make a good tasting gummy. So that's how I would lead. And then I would just follow up with, like, yeah, there's all this clinical studies behind it. We are third-party tested, and realistically, you can sell it to everybody. It does have more of the sports nutrition like push, because that's just kind of what I'm into. Now, will we have a rebrand? Nobody knows what the future holds, but there might be a rebrand to kind of expand more into maybe like the stay-at-home dad or the work-from-home dad, that likes to run or something, just something in that space. But I don't want to limit us just based off, what it looks like and what I'm pushing.
No, and I appreciate you saying it that way. And it's one of those things that you definitely have the versatility in the supplement space. And like I said, I'm just recently learning a lot more about that industry. So I'm looking forward to having some more conversation with you. I think there's some good symbiotic things we can be doing together. When you went, like, talk about your transition from the banking world to the supplement world. What was that spark, and what caused that career? What was your light bulb moment, let's say, for the career pivot?
Yeah, I actually answered this question the other day, and the truthful answer is I don't even know.
Those are the best. That's okay. That's an okay answer. man.
So realistically, I compete in natural bodybuilding, just something to keep me competitive, healthy, kind of on par on a consistent schedule. And I was just like, I didn't think that anybody was providing something for, I wouldn't say bodybuilders, but athletes in general that really made sense to me. Because like I said, you go into a supplement store, you see there are great protein bars, there are great, snacks, smart sweets. Alani Nu has their candy and stuff, but if you look at it, that's not something that an athlete is going to go grab and be able to, have a couple at halftime or something, because of the sugar, and it doesn't do anything. So I was like, kind of wanted to do it, tested it out, a whole bunch of stuff in my own kitchen, probably burning the hell out of my ingredients, just messing everything up because I don't have really any science background. So I got something that I thought was at least, the idea was cool. It was good. It tasted good, so I tried to take it to manufacturing, and then the rest is history from there. I mean, there wasn't really, I wouldn't even say that there was like no general like shift from finance or away from finance, because that's the aspect that I like the most. So I build all my financial sheets and all that stuff. I do it myself. So I still enjoy that aspect of it. It's just now I'm also over the operational side, more the like vision side, all that combined of just being the owner.
And when you're doing that now, and you're kind of working through the strategy, are you a solo entrepreneur when it comes to that? And are you in a sense that you do have a big team with you and stuff like that, as far as street sales and marketing and all that stuff? What's the set, how you are right now as far as that goes?
Yeah, so the current team is me and 4 advisors. Technically
Nice.
6 advisors, so like 4 professional advisors, then my dad and my aunt. So like
That's awesome, though. That's awesome.
yeah, I bounce a lot of ideas off of them. They kind of keep me narrow and tame my ego and all the stuff that you need whenever, you're young and you're like, wow, this looks cool, all the shiny objects. Because I have a lot of people asking me to do a lot of stuff in different ingredients, which I love it. Like, don't get me wrong, I feel like I like it. I would love to work with everybody in the world, but
Yeah.
as you know, sometimes you just have to put the blinders on and stay focused and do one thing at a time. So that's all the team is right now.
No, and that's perfect, actually, and that's what I was hoping to hear. When you're sorry, let me turn this off real quick. My wife's going to work. She's a nurse, going in for a night shift, and the dog is upstairs, going ballistic because she's going to the garage. So apologies if you hear a barking dog there for a second. But the what I was going to say was, going into the gummy space, and what are your target retailers? Like, where are you looking currently? Are you looking at chains only right now? Are you looking at independents, a mix of the two, and kind of what types of retailers are you looking to partner with?
Yeah, I mean, just being honest, full transparency, we don't have the operational efficiency or the capability to go do anything major. So it
That's
had to
okay.
be
Yeah.
something small scale if somebody did want me to come into retail. We haven't even launched fully on e-commerce, so I'd be very skeptical to go into retail, because there's a lot of stuff that I've read, but the main thing that I hear repeated over and over and over again is do not go into retail and fail, because it will make getting back on the shelves like 300 times harder. So
Smartest thing somebody told you. I'm serious. It's I ask everybody that about retail just to get the responses, but that's probably the smartest response I've heard yet.
So in a hypothetical world, if we were fully stood up, obviously, you got the big players. You always look at Vitamin Shop, GNC, see what they're offering you. My number one would be Supplement Superstore. I'm from St. Louis, so like Andy Frisell and the whole First Form and Supplement Superstore and all them guys, I would love to be able to put my product in there, especially since I have friends that actually work at that company, and I got a lot of respect for for them. So that would be my favorite to get in there if I could.
When so you said you're pre-revenue on the e-commerce. Have you been selling it like at pop-ups and stuff like that, or how have you been let's say proving your concept so far?
So we did the original branch chain amino acid one, and that was just all organic traffic. So if I'm being honest, I'm just swinging for the fences. I don't really have any proof of concept. The market hasn't seen anything like this. I give it out to people at the gym, and I've received great feedback. I went to Expo West, and I had my manufacturer send me a small purchase order actually out there while I was there. So handed those out to ingredient partners and then other people that I knew in the industry. Got great feedback, but it's going to really be up to the market to either accept it or decline it. And hopefully it's a home run. I mean, gummies are exploding right now. So if people can sell these poorly made gummies and I can't sell mine, then I just need to go take some sales courses or something.
Well, hey, like, kind of go into like the startup founder thing. I mean, what's the hardest part so far that you feel like nobody's told you? I mean, you're not yet at the real beating yet. So I'm gonna warn you, you're not yet at the beating yet because you're pre-revenue. All right, you haven't started scaling to the next level. So in the stage you're in right now, what has been the biggest hurdle so far? And I'm not diminishing what stage you're in. I'm interested to hear what's been the biggest struggle so far with getting this to market.
Probably getting the R&D done. I mean, I feel like that's kind of a basic answer, just because everybody knew the gummy was going to be hard. So more in depth probably would be standing up the supply chain. So I do supply side everything. So you're aware of like how the manufacturing process and all that stuff works. Client side supply, I do all my sourcing. So my flavor, my base ingredients, my primary ingredients, everything. I was up probably not 72 hours straight, but during the 72-hour sprint that we had to do from finalizing the SOP and the formula to actually standing up the full food supply chain, those 3 days were like hectic, like banging it out. So I'd probably say that's probably been the most difficult thing, just because it was time consuming. It was a lot of pressure. And that's one of the things that you just go into kind of just shooting in the dark.
No, and that's the only way. That's the only way to learn. I drove my parents crazy growing up because I was the guy that I had to touch the stove a couple times, and I had to learn everything exactly the hardest way possible. So it's I'm a trial by fire, not trial by error. So with that said, I mean your life you clearly have a drive, and anybody that's in the fitness world, I always tell people strongly I was a former athlete. I was very much not a current athlete by any means, but wrestling, football, rugby, all those things. I'm 6'3", almost 300 pounds. With that said, finance and fitness and that being your history, and that's a disciplined sport and a disciplined recreational activity. What's the bigger picture for you outside of the money and the gummies being a great opportunity? What's the driver for you every morning for launching this? Because obviously you could have just joined in and did sales with any other gummy company that exists. Why did you choose this path? And also, why did you choose not to be like everybody else? Why did you choose to differentiate yourself?
Yeah, I mean, so what gets me up is because I moved. So I'm in North Carolina and Charlotte. I'm from the Midwest, so Southern Illinois, St. Louis area. And I love my home, but I hate my home, if that makes sense. So all my family's there. So realistically, if I can make enough money to buy enough land to put some small homes and just move my whole family out of the Midwest, so I never had to go back, that's what I would do tomorrow. Like with the flip of a switch, I would do it. So that's kind of what's keeping me motivated. I'm also the oldest of 6. So me and my youngest brother have a 20-year difference. So it's kind of like he's not my son, but he's also kind of like my son. Like, do you have siblings?
I have 6. We have 6 kids actually. Yeah, we have 18 all the way to 10. So I get what you're saying. Yeah, and my mom was that way. My mom was a senior in high school when my uncle was born, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it was a little chip on my shoulder. Like you'll never be better than me. So it's kind of like I got to keep on going, you know. So it's really ego driven, and I hate to say that, but it's the truth. And it's kind of same thing on the business side of why I just try to do it by myself, because I don't have any CPG experience. So I knew that I wasn't going to be able to get the respect or the type of role that I really wanted to. It kind of be like one of them, you got to start from the bottom. So it's like, okay, either start from the bottom with my own company and kind of write my own destiny, or kind of have somebody control my destiny. And I just chose to do it on my own. And I was, like I said, I'm shooting for the stars, swinging for the fences. I mean, I'm kind of all in on this one. So
No, I love it, man. And I started, I'll let you know too. Like this is called the Free Mind Podcast, but it originally started in 2008 when I was in college, and it was Free Mind LLC, and it's the same LLC I've had forever. And I've always been 100% owner of it. I've never sold any equity of it. There's points when I had to take loans out and pay them back and stuff like that. But I brought you on for that reason. I brought you on intent reason is because you are a new entrepreneur, and I'm excited to see new entrepreneurs that are doing things, and especially new entrepreneurs that go in and say, you know what, fuck it. Everybody's going down the left lane. I'm going down the right lane. And I was always that way. I was always that way. And it worked to my advantage all the time. It always worked to my advantage, and it made me unique. There's the dog. So, it made me unique, and it made me stand out. And I'm excited to hear a story like yours, and walk me through kind of, where do you see your product in, let's say, a year or 2 years from now? Do you see it as a robust, e-commerce brand, or kind of where are you seeing, like, the understanding with you that it's not a business plan? I'm not looking for exact numbers, but outlining of kind of where your vision is for like a 1, 2, 5 years or so, to kind of give me a kind of future look.
yeah, so I mean, I can be fully transparent with that. I think I've actually talked about it publicly, but I mean, we got big goals. So trailing 12 months post launch, we're going to try to hit 1.2 million in revenue, which is going to be a heavy lift, because along the same lines as you, I don't plan on going for equity or raising any capital. So we're going to be bootstrapped, trying to, see what funnels make the most sense for that. We're looking at affiliate marketing, static ad growth, stuff like that. I mean, there are so many different ones that we're looking at. And honestly, probably like the third year, I would like to be nationwide with somebody and crushing anybody that comes into the gummy world. Because
how does that part work in the gummy side of things? Or with your strategy, are you going with a 3PL to like direct ship to retail if they want it, or are you going like anything that's not on direct to consumer on the website? And I mean, I guess let me back up. Who's packing the order? Is it a 3PL logistics company that's packing the orders when you come to scale?
When we come to scale, I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
Because there are a couple of things. I really like owning the full process. Now, this is me again being a young entrepreneur.
You need to do that first to know when it's time to scale, though. So I'm in full support of you trial by error doing that. Yeah.
So my advisor uses a 3PL. I'm just worried about the 3PL, and plus I don't like paying fees.
Right.
I don't like paying fees for anything, and I don't want to sour any relationships with retailers because of logistical issues. Because that's what I've heard. Amazon will fee you, GNC will fee you, Vitamin Shop will fee you if you're not at the dock at that specific time on that specific date. So there's a lot of stuff for me to learn before I can tell you, like, if we'll do 3PL. If I had it my way, we'd just fully integrate straight up, but that's like $50-70 million. So that's kind of unrealistic in the picture in 5 years. But that 3PL is questionable. That's probably the best answer.
Are you seeing, and this is me being naive to this, this is just off of recent conversations, are more like outdoor stores like REI, Dick's, Sierra, things like that, are they looking at products like yours now where they might not have been before? And I asked this because recently I started seeing like beef jerky and things like that in those types of places, and I didn't know if they were starting to come outside of apparel and start like getting into the actual consumables.
I can't say yes or no, but it wouldn't surprise me because
Mhm.
we do. So we're doing the big pack right now, right? So this is the full 30 servings, but at scale, I don't see why I couldn't trim it down and do maybe 3 serving bags, 4 serving
Mhm.
bag, a serving bag, and make it make sense for those shops. So if you wanted to put it on the end, like by the Gatorade or whatnot, so you got your Gatorade drinks, little candies, whatever, go hand in hand. I don't really know, but I wouldn't see why not. I mean, I think if you make enough noise, you can make an argument to really get in anybody's shows.
No, absolutely. I think, yeah, when you get to that volume scale and you start adding SKUs, the world's your oyster when it comes to that. That's awesome. To, with your differentiation and stuff like that, how are you guys? When do what? Or I guess let me back up. When are you going into to be when are you going live like 100% with your e-commerce and where you're fully functioning?
Yeah, we're just waiting on the third party testing to get fully validated. So unfortunately, I got hit over the side of the head with the lead time on that. I thought it was like 5 to 7 days. It's 15 with who we're going with. So that's 3 weeks. I just sent that out last week. So I'm hoping the first week of next month. But that's fingers crossed. I mean, I'm still waiting on my boxes, all of them to get here. We do source those from international suppliers, so that's taken 45 days, so on and so forth. The whole run
Yeah,
of the
what
mill.
we'll do is I'll cut this part out actually, and I'll hold your what we'll do is I'll communicate with you, and when you go live on it, that's when I'll release this episode. So I'll
Okay.
hold on to this episode until you go live, and then I'll cut everything out where it's just like talking. So it's just talking about us going live. So with that said, imagine like let's turn the conversation a little bit and imagine you are live with it. Who's your target consumer, and when that one customer will move out of the wholesale and retail part, we're talking directly to consumers. Like, who's your ideal consumer to hop on your site?
Yeah, I would say my ideal consumer is going to be somebody 18 to 45 in the active lifestyle. I don't want to pigeonhole us and be like they have to be a avid gym goer, because essential amino acids could be exactly what the name says, essential, and for anybody. So if you're a runner, you do CrossFit, if you do yoga, if you do Pilates, male, female, if you are a hardcore gym person, if you're a power lifter, we've really designed it to really fit all walks of life. So you could have that snack while you're, going for a PR deadlift. You might be hitting 750,000 pounds and you need, some energy. You might be going for a long run. Now, I don't know how we compare to the gels that like marathon runners run, like, and use, but that is something too, like down the line, that I do want to kind of experiment with to see if maybe the running community could be like a really strong target push, because there's a huge blow up right now on kind of like the hybrid athlete. So that's something that I would like to venture down. But yeah, really anybody that's an active lifestyle. If you're a mom that likes to walk your babies every day and you just want a sugar-free snack that you don't have to worry about, the calories, go ahead then. We made it for everybody.
That's
We're
awesome. That's awesome. And tell me about the name. Where did you come up with the name?
honestly just messing around on the computer, messing with AI, just doing a whole bunch of different stuff. I actually had the tagline before I had the name. So like our Ascend Beyond. I was like, what kind of that sounds cool, but we need kind of like a name to go with it. And then I was like, I was just looking. I was like, this is cool. Some stuff's cool. Sent it to a couple people. I think we had like 4 or 5 choices. And I was like, Ascentix, Ascend Beyond, that kind of goes together.
Mhm.
I can't think of his name. What was the famous biker that had got cancer?
Oh, Lance Armstrong.
Yeah, Lance Armstrong. For some reason, I don't know why. I don't know if he had a tagline or something, but I was just always like thinking like Lance Armstrong and like that.
I think it was Live Strong, I think was his
Yeah,
tagline.
live
Yeah.
strong. Like his tagline, live strong. And I was like, okay, that was really strong and prominent. So I kind of want to have something like that, with my brand that can be kind of like the Nike just do it, live strong, ascend beyond. And I was like, okay. And then Ascentix, if I'm being honest, it just came from AI and luck.
That's okay, and that's what, and especially like a lot of people are afraid to say that with AI, and I just say this every time. I'm like, I feel like every episode I'm saying this. Like AI is, I use it every day. It's my TI-89 calculator. I don't know if you're probably too young to know what that is, but it's one of those things where it only did whatever you put into it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Those calculators weren't a screen that was like coming up with anything, and it's just like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff about AI, but at the end of the day, AI is great for what you're doing, what you're using it for, and especially when you're trying to be creative, it takes the administrative stress away and lets you just be creative, which I've always found to be really fun. I'm going to ask you a weird question there. You're in the fitness world and stuff like that. What's the weirdest? Now, I used to sell beer, so I can tell you I've had some really shitty beer in my day. What's some of the weirdest supplements you've ever tried in your quest of the R&D or just in life in general?
Well, I mean, all the samples that we had before,
All the above.
all the samples that we made before we actually got the final product just tasted like I was eating chalk. But other than that, I don't really venture.
Were you just walking around the house like lifting couches all day long? Like what was like, how did you hold in all that testosterone while you're in your R&D phase?
But yeah, I don't go too far left or right in the supplements as far as trying stuff. I do have my manufacturing, they make a whole bunch of stuff. So they sent me some CBD gummies like for pain relief and stuff like that. First time I ever tried them, I mean, that's probably like the weirdest, but it wasn't nothing like crazy. It wasn't just a regular pain relief supplement. I mean, it wasn't.
I think I look back at, I was actually in a conversation. I was at my 20-year high school reunion recently, and we were sitting around a campfire at the Airbnb that we rented, and it was me and some of the guys on my football team. We were talking about how the supplement world, how different it is now compared to us. Like we had probably I think they're all illegal drugs now with the stuff that we were taking, but it was like Rip Fuel was the number one that we took all the time, and it was like this insane. I think it was banned by the federal government like right after we graduated high school in like 2003 or 2004. Then there was these other things that were like called like Yellow Jackets. You had to get them at a gas station, and it was basically the equivalent of Rip Fuel. And it was just like you'd be walking around just gritting your teeth right before any football or rugby or wrestling or anything like that. And I mean, I just look back at it. I don't know how we didn't die a couple times from a heart attack or anything like that back then, because especially that Rip Fuel. Because if you look it up, and well, in post production, I'm going to put the image up of the Rip Fuel. But yeah, between the creatine, the Rip Fuel, and it was a wild time in high school. It was like it was the Wild West, I think, of the supplements, and they were not of grade of what they are today, is what I'm trying to say.
Hey, did you have a good time though, right?
I didn't do it as much as I was a fan of Rip Fuel. I'm not gonna lie, but all the other stuff, the creatine and all that, I was already a bigger guy, so I didn't need to add all the weight. I was trying to convert baby fat into muscle and all that. But the Rip Fuel was amazing, though. I can tell you what, and there's a reason I'm not surprised it's federally banned probably at this point. So. Yeah. It was one of those things like you took it and you were running through a brick wall if there was one in front of you. So what about for you? Are you with your workout schedule and stuff like that? Are you pretty rigid, or are you kind of like with the business and stuff like that? It's really kind of taking a backseat or kind of balance. Are you still work-life balance and keeping it in the routine every day?
Yeah, I'm like the military over here. I get up.
Nice.
I get up at 4 a.m. every day, except for Sundays. Sundays I do sleep in, but pretty much every other day I'm up 4 a.m. gym, doing my stuff, making sure I get my steps. I usually don't miss, just because I found I've been doing it for so long. Whenever I don't do it, I just feel weird.
Mm-hmm.
So it's my routine. It's my lifestyle now. So I just do it. And I'm a firm believer in leading by example. So, I mean, my advisors, they advise me, but I'm still the leader. And I don't know, it doesn't feel right to me if I'm not performing and maintaining and doing everything at my highest level. Why should I ask somebody else to?
In addition to your own product, are you a morning workout or evening workout? And then with that said, caffeine. Do you have caffeine in your life, or you don't have any caffeine in your life?
Yeah, I'm a STEM junkie. So workout for in the morning, I'm usually cranking anywhere from 250 to 400, depending on the day. And then, but I'd only do it in the morning. So I used to be a caffeine drinker throughout the day, but purposely been pulling back. So just my pre-workout, whatever pre-workout I decide to use. And sometimes I go non-stem. And then that's it. Maybe a random energy drink every now and then, but very rare.
Nice. One last thing for you. You know, what are any lessons you've learned so far for anybody else that's looking to get into not even just supplements, somebody that's your age right now, it's 2024, they've been sitting on an idea and they want to pull the trigger. You know, what is your biggest advice to them, positive or negative?
Yeah. Jump off. Like you have to, there's always this misconception, I think, with ego. So for one, if you're going to step into this world, you have to think that there's nobody that can mess with you. There's nobody that's going to stop you no matter what. And I mean, people think that that's ego and whatever, but if you pair ego and you tame it with humility to where you know that you don't know everything, but you're like, there ain't nobody better that can do it. That's what I would say. Learn how to tame those and then just go for it, and be quick too. Like, because the quicker you fail, the quicker you can either restart or find out that you actually don't want this life.
That's exactly it. And I appreciate the time you put into R&D. That's also and it'll pay off in dividends for the years to come. Trystin, thank you so much for your time. We are going to be having plenty of conversations. I think there's a lot of people I can't wait to introduce you to and to help you out in the beginning of your journey and get this thing off the ground. I love the product you have there, and I'll send you my email address for some samples as well. So I got to chase those 6 kids around and I need some extra energy. So we got to get that going there.
Hey, perfect, man. And I appreciate you having me on here. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Excellent, Trystin. And let everybody know on social media handles how they get in touch with you, whether they're a consumer, retailer, website, everything like that.
Yeah, so to get in touch with me, all my handles across all platforms are just my name. So Trystin Nance, TrystinNance. I'm most active on LinkedIn. So the professional journey and everything is widely known on there. And then as far as the company goes, you can reach us on all social medias at Ascentix, ASCENTIXIL. That's everything. And then, yeah, I mean, anybody that wants something, we will have the website up hopefully in a couple of weeks. And then, yeah, we'll go.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, man. I'll send you an email. We'll get together, and you have a good rest of your day. And I'm looking forward to seeing what everything comes from here. You take care, man.
Thanks, Nate. You too.
All right. Take care, buddy.